All right, and while we're getting set up for the next game, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, just want to remind everybody that SGDQ2016 is sponsored by Twitch, the world's premier game streaming website. Also want to remind you that all donations for Summer Games Done Quick 2016 goes to Doctors Without Borders, who support people who can't otherwise access health care by employing specialized medical and logistical help or running long-term projects designed to tackle health crises. They often work in remote locations and are often the first international aid workers to arrive at the scene of an emergency. We have $50 from Eclipsed Husky. Always enjoy the Poor Life Choices team and their speed runs. All right, and as we are getting ready for Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, we are still just under $1,000 away from that pacifist run. We only have a couple more minutes before we're going to close that off and go ahead with the run. So if you want to see that pacifist run, the time to bid is now. We have $50 from Arm of Chaos. I'm glad I could finally catch SGDQ live. It's always great to see the community gathering together to support such a good cause. Send my money to Ty Pacifist. We're almost there. $50 from Anonymous. First time donating, long time lurker. Keep up the amazing runs. $10 from Anonymous. Excited to see that this is running again already. Keep up the amazing work. Spectre Grimm donates $5. I don't have much money, but after watching all the videos from past GDQs, I had to donate something while I finally watched live here at 7 a.m. Keep up the good work, guys. I apologize if I'm messing up this name. Theolentangi donates $5. This one donates to the cause, but don't worry, Khajiit did not sell moon sugar to earn it. Why be anything else when you could be Khajiit? We have $20 from Unbridled Instinct. I've been watching GDQ for a few years now, and this is my first time donating. Save the animals and kill those frames. All right, we just had an anonymous donation for $543.21. And that just went to Ty the Tasmanian Tiger Pacifist Run. We're still about $455 away from that, so now is the time to get in because we are almost ready to start. We have an anonymous $10 donation. Only reason I'm up right now is because I'm nervous for my driver's license test tomorrow. Having SGDQ is oddly calming, and honestly, the test isn't that different from a speed run. Tons of routing and precision, just not as fast. Money goes towards Ty Pacifist Run, and if this gets read, I'll donate again tomorrow. Double if I pass my test. Good luck, and thank you to all the runners and volunteers. Well, good luck on your test tomorrow, guy. We have $50 from KF Napa. This is to hope that Lenny doesn't troll Kythol. Lenny, please. Good luck, dude. $50 from AJ Stangeland. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger is my favorite game and super glad it's being run. Can't wait. We have $100 from Kalex. No comment, but thank you for that donation. All right, and thanks to a last-minute donation of $500 from Super Impressed, we have met the donation incentive for the Pacifist Run. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, I'll just go ahead and count down. 3, 2, 1, go. Hey guys, Mr. Mammal here, and today we have a very fast Let's Play of Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Okay, sorry, I had a friend tell me to do an intro of a YouTuber. It's fine. But hi, I am Kythol, and this is Ty the Tasmanian Tiger played really, really fast. As a quick disclaimer, I am sorry to everyone's childhood, because it is about to be ruthlessly destroyed by myself. And behind me, we have two pretty nice people. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Ping Pong 980. I also speedrun this game with him. Kythol is actually the guy who taught me everything I know about the speedrun, so he was my guide through all of it, so big thanks to him.
And I'm Konasumi, just joining in on the couch.
Yeah, so Konosumi can basically ask any questions that a normal player would, and unfortunately we're missing our fourth man, the Rack Daddy himself, Zim92. We have no idea where he is, but I have some ideas, but I don't really know, so... yeah, so basically this is just a tutorial level. There's no big outside movement besides running. Basically, the goal of this level is to get your boomerang, and I'm just kind of going through it real fast. You've seen me do a few things, like I skip all the conversations that we go through by pressing the Y button. It just goes a lot faster, and right here is our first kind of minor skip scene that you go through right here, but instead I can just jump on top of that and jump over it. And it just saves like 2 seconds, but every second counts. Trying to think of what else to say here. It's really self-explanatory up until we get the boomerang. If you notice Ty move a little bit slow, that's just an issue with my controller. I don't really know how to fix it, but it's okay. It doesn't really waste that much time. I could go with the other controller that for some reason always thinks it's at half battery even when it uses brand new batteries and disconnects twice a run. But you know, it's okay. So we're about to grab the second boomerang right here, and this allows us to do an interesting thing. It allows us to glide. But the one thing that the developers Chrome didn't expect to happen, or at least I don't think, if you glide at the very top of your jump, you get an extra little bit of height, and we call this an extended glide. And because of that, I just missed that button. That's really embarrassing. But because of that, we're able to get to a lot of areas we shouldn't be able to. Like going up the waterfall like I did, that shouldn't be available from that platform, but because of the extended glide, it is. So a little bit of a simple explanation of how this game works. There are 4 hubs. The first 3 hubs, we need 17 Thunder Eggs, which I'm collecting, and after we collect 17 Thunder Eggs, we go to a boss, and that's fine. Also, I just realized I completely forgot about this being a pacifist run, so that's going to be a lot of money that I'm donating, because I'm donating $1 for every single enemy I kill, so let's remember this now. Yeah, let's remember this is pacifist. My fault there. I'm not used to running pacifist. It's really an awkward thing because it just is. I don't normally do it. But like I said, I'm donating $1 for every enemy I accidentally kill, and that's really interesting for this game because auto-targeting is bad. Also, never had that happen before. I guess that's never happened before. So the level structure for every level is simple. You got the story mission, which in this level was the collect the second boomerang. Then after you complete the story mission, you unlock the race or the time trial, which I'm going through now. And then you have the collect 5 bilbies, which are the little things in boxes. And you have collect 300 opals, which we never do because it's extremely slow. And then you have several other different ones that go on throughout the game. So this is another use of the extended glide. Just kind of ignore the fence there and jump over that wall. And we're coming up to the first major skip of the game. There are a total of 4 water slides in this game. However, we only use 2 of them, and one of them we only use because of the race. We skipped them, except for the second one in this level. So you're going to see me kind of get stuck in between a tree. And the way the texturing works in this level is if I hold up and right on these specific textures, sorry, up and left, I'm just going to kind of glide right over it like that, and that saves about 1.5 minutes, except I took damage, so oh well. It's really kind of an easy skip once you learn how to do it. But when you first start out, I know for me it was really hard, but once I got told just to hold up and left, it became a lot easier. So we're about to do, slow movement. We're about to do one of 2 things that's somewhat sound cue based, but I'm going to completely ignore the sound cues. We're going to cause these bats to kind of fly out of this cave, and we're going to get a Thunder Egg for it. And the moment you can hit the bats is the moment they stop making noise, but this really, I just kind of throw the boomerang. But now would be a good time for any donations if you have any.
All right, we have $10 from McLarnon. Good morning from Somerset in the UK. Keep up the good work, fellas. We're really looking forward to Resident Evil 2 and Little Big Planet. Save the frames. We have $50 from Puzzles 0624. Save the frames, kill the animals.
Okay, so this is the second water slide that I was talking about, and we can't skip it, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of duck, and because of that, I'm going to just go through the level, the water slide kind of quickly. Unfortunately, I may hit something, and if I hit something, that causes me to kind of get stunned for a second. We used to think that jumping down the water slide is faster, but it's only faster if A, you get basically frame-perfect jumps, which is really hard to do consistently, and B, if you don't hit anything. Other than that, just ducking and gliding down is just as fast, if not faster. Now, here's the first point of the game where a lot of casual players of this game are going to get really upset at me, and that's this turkey. I'm manipulating him to go this way so I can get him to go right here, and he's already dead, which a lot of people are going to be very upset at. Because as a kid, everyone's really upset with me, because it took him a really long time. Also, I keep on forgetting that this is pacifist. I am very sorry. More money to charity, am I right? And after I finish every level, you're seeing me press start and go to exit level. By exiting the level, I'm keeping the Thunder Eggs that I get, but it's just exiting the level faster than going to the normal portal. So this is the level that we learn about swimming, because as an extinct animal from a long time ago, we don't know how to swim. But, you know, we're going to learn how to swim, even though we are a feline. But swimming is the fastest kind of movement, even though we don't do it a lot, because I can just kind of keep going at a swift pace like this, and it's really simple. The only other possibly faster movement is in a specific level, and that's Outback Safari, which I will explain once that comes up. Another thing that a lot of people are going to be really confused about is this jump right here. You'd normally go around, but there's a small ledge I can stand on there, and by jumping up to that area, I'm able to just kind of skip going around, and it saves a good minute. And then this is a very minor skip. It only saves about 10 seconds. It's called Boat Skip. The way the Aqua Rings, any boomerang really works, is after it hits something, it goes through any wall to come back to you. However, it still is able to hit entities. So by hitting it on the ground and swimming next to where the button is, I'm able to cause it to be able to hit the button from outside of the boat when you should really be able to, when you normally would have to look through a window. So it's just kind of a small little time save. Okay, so now that I kind of got the pacifist thing in me, I'm going to make sure I don't kill any more enemies, because I feel really dumb now. I don't normally... I like killing a lot of things in this game because, you know, kill the animals, save the frames. The next section is a kind of a semi-weird platforming that I need to hit coconuts. However, the first two areas of the first two mud pits, I'm going to skip by simply going around them like this. And then this one I can't do, so I'm just going to hit the first and third one, and that will allow me to get the Thunder Egg here. This next part is good for donations because it's just a lot of swimming.
All right, we have $20 from Giraffe68. Hey, Kythol, it's your favorite long neck here with fellow SGM crew to wish you a good luck on the run. Donation goes to Kythol's Choice. Jared246 donates $15 and says, "No, my childhood." Just kidding. Good luck on the Ty the Tasmanian Tiger run, Kythol. Also, while I wouldn't hurt a fly, when it comes to Metroid, kill the animals.
For the donation, put it towards the Jack and Daxter Japanese, because that's always fun to listen to.
$10 from Zik3. Shout out to Ping Pong 980 on the couch. Sorry I couldn't be there with you this time. Have fun for both of us. This donation goes to your choice. Good luck to Kythol on your run.
What you saw me do there is you're normally supposed to stand on a platform and hit that button, but you can stand there. One thing I would like to say about this game is the developers, Chrome Studios, are really cool guys, and they also did a good job at making sure the physics of this game are really believable. Like, you really can't walk up much that you really shouldn't be able to. It's just a really well-made game in that sense.
There's also a cool part. It's not seen in the Xbox or the PlayStation version of it, but in the GameCube version that I run, when you're passing the shark tanks, when the cutscene happens and the seahorse is like telling you to beware of the sharks, a second line will come up and it'll be spoken in, I believe, French for some random reason.
We really don't know why, but it's just kind of there. Also, I am, again, forgetting about Pacifist. I really love charity. You know that, right? I really love charity. Okay, I promise I won't forget about it this time. And I'm being serious. I actually have been forgetting because I'm bad. I am, in case you can't tell, I'm somewhat of a fraud. But it's okay. I forgot to bring my fraud sign. Now, the end of this level, we're just kind of going back. You've seen me collect some seahorses. I'm just kind of going around and finishing collecting them.
Dodge the Barracuda.
Oh, yeah, dodge the Barracuda. Normally, I'd hit that Barracuda because it has a massive hitbox. But I would kill it, but because we're nice people, even though we'd like to save the frames, I'm gonna go around it. Also, we're about to approach our first boss, which is easily my favorite of the game. I'm gonna go ahead and warn headphone users to turn down your headphones because this is going to be quite loud.
Very screechy.
Also, a little risky thing, if I accidentally press main menu, I made sure to start the game without saving, so that's going to be very bad if I accidentally... I forgot a Thunder Egg. Which one did I forget?
I think the frills and 2-up.
You're kidding.
You killed them, and I think you just forgot the Thunder Egg.
I did. I'm a fraud. This is like a minute lost. Yay! Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I can easily get back there.
This is one part you can't dodge with the pacifist.
Yeah, because pacifist, I was thinking, hey, oh well, this is just going to be a real quick go back and grab it. Unfortunately, that's something that can happen if you aren't thinking like me and talking, but... And honestly, that was a really good run up until then, but...
A bit unrelated, but what got you into running this game?
I completely forgot about that again. Muscle memory, guys, but the reason I started running this game, back in 2014, I learned about speedrunning SGDQ2016 with Jack and Daxter, which is kind of why I wanted that donation incentive. That's why I kind of said that. But I saw that, and I completely forgot about speedrunning up until SGDQ. And at that point, I was like, you know what, I'll look into it. And I just looked up games that I played as a kid that were really neat. And I saw Jack and Daxter. It looked too difficult for me. And then I looked up Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and I saw a guy, shoutouts to Maelstrom, who ran this game two years in a row at ESA. His ESA 2014 run is what got me into running this game. So I at first ran it real casually. I didn't really care about it. But after this game was supposed to be run at SGDQ 2015 last year, I decided, you know what, I should pick it up because the guy dropped it. Still love you, Papo. There we go. Now we'll do the boss. Also, I plan on going back and watching this. I expect there to be a lot of failfish and or resets in the chat because of my failures. Okay, so this is the first boss. Forget all that happened. This is the bull from... I don't really know what it's from, it's just the bull. And I'll explain to you why I warned headphone users.
Right there.
Easily my favorite boss just because of the sounds. Now there are 2 instances in this where I can save a total of 1 second each time, except we don't know how to manipulate it. So it's the same thing, you gotta make him hit pillars 5 times and just kind of biting past them so he doesn't hurt me. It doesn't really matter if I die because I'll just respawn. But so after the second hit, he's going to start stomping the ground like he did. Now after the third hit, he's going to stomp the ground and he's going to throw boulders. Now the thing is, if he throws the boulders, he might not have this animation, which I'll point it out if he does or doesn't. If he doesn't have the animation after throwing the third boulder, I will save a second, and it can happen twice because there are 2 times he throws boulders. Okay, I did not save the second because he did the animation. Also, pacifist, I probably should have explained this earlier, even though I've been failing miserably at it. When I say pacifist, I mean killing any unnecessary enemies. So the 7 frills that I killed earlier, there's some things later on, and any bosses are free game. Okay, he didn't skip the animation. So now that we've finished this boss fight, we have obtained the first talisman. We are going to obtain 3 talismans throughout the game. And after obtaining the first talisman, we are going to get our first elemental ring, which is known as a flamerang. And what this allows us to do is it allows us to break ice, burn spider webs, things like that. So this will allow us to get to the second hub. And the second hub is just kind of, it's not hard, but it's not easy either. There's just one major skip towards the end of it that can be frustrating. But now would be a good time for a donation or 2.
All right. $10 from AB49K. Shout out to Ping Pong 980 on the couch. How's it been, man? Also, I want those animals dead. We have $20 from William236. I loved this game when I was younger, and still do. Thrilled to see it being run. Morning from Ireland.
Just so you know, that was easily the hardest skip of the game. Sub-pixel, sub-frame perfect, and I'm totally not lying, even though I am. That's for some reason they decided not to put collision on that one wall there, and you know, you could just kind of run up it by jumping on a box. There's a much more difficult way, and I just kind of like the easier way. So now you're gonna see me throwing boomerangs at these guys, but because this is passive, I'm not gonna throw a second one because that'll kill them. These guys, the reason why I throw boomerangs at them once is because they shoot out these like red dart things, and those can stun you. And if they stun you, you lose time. I really don't know how else to put that. Also, I'm sorry if this run is kind of stale. I was hoping Rack Daddy Zim would be able to spice things up with memes, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it. Oh, hi Zim! It is okay, you can yell memes from the crowd. We still love you, Rack Daddy. But yeah, now this is just kind of like the auto-scroller. It's not an escort mission because Dennis, who's the little frog that we're escorting, he doesn't take damage, so it's more of an escort. And he's real slow as well. So we're just going to kind of light these barrels, and we're going to do some other stuff while waiting for him to catch up. Like, just go ahead and grab this, and then go back along the path. Also, this is the one level that has easily the one enemy that I'll always try to kill, but always fail, but I won't try to kill because, knowing my luck, I'll kill it. It's called Kappa Bat. He's just kind of a flying bat, and he's really frustrating. Also, because I've killed so many, I would normally kill him just to be kind of safe, but we're going with backup strats. Going a little farther than usual. And then we're just going to wait for Dennis, who's for some reason afraid of the dark. I don't know why you'd live here if you're afraid of the dark, but I'm going to wait for him to come up here. Also, that's Kappa Bat. Hi, Kappa Bat. There's a little interesting skip. Not really skip, it's just the way Thunder Eggs work in this game. There are some that teleport you back to where you start, but there are some where you start the mission or whatever, but there are some that allow you to go far away, like this one. So I'm going to wait for Dennis here to kind of run up past me, and I'm going to hopefully not... Okay, good. The second Kappa Bat is going to stay away. And I'm going to go to these little opals here and just kind of wait, and it's going to allow me to get the Thunder Egg. But the next part would be good for donations because it's kind of long.
I've got one I want to read here. It's $50 from Steve Sly Williams. Hello from the home of Ty. I was the lead programmer on Ty and Ty 2. Good luck in your speedrun, Kythol. Looking forward to seeing how you exploit our game.
Also, I'm a fraud because I missed that box I shouldn't have. Also, I can just let go of the controller because, you know, actually, no, I'm a little too far. It's fine, though. Kind of can stretch my hands now. Next is another good example of how great this game is programmed, so you can't run up anything that you really shouldn't be able to. If I could actually remember where it is. Fraud. Really? Twice? I've never done that before. There we go. Extended glides. Also, this is Dennis. Just not Dennis. What am I saying? This is Nettie. This is Dennis's brother thing. Fun fact: don't kill any bosses. All the bosses are alive after we're done with them. So that's good for pacifists. Also, I can skip the Thunder Egg animation by biting into his hitbox as it pushes me out, canceling out the animation. Also, the next part, these are the 2 turkeys. If you thought 1 turkey was bad, well, 2's worse, gonna be honest. This is it's not precise, it's just frustrating if I miss it. So hopefully, if I get it, it's good. If not, it might waste about 30 seconds. We'll see. So we got to get the first turkey, and then we got to hope this turkey goes a good direction. We got it.
Nice job.
That's very difficult. Also, the next level is the most frustrating for both any percent and for 100%. It's called Outback Safari. I'll just say that if in 100%, the 300 opals are all in their own little box. Also, we're riding the bull. So, emus, these are frustrating. Already going bad. Nice.
Let's go 9-10 emus.
I hope it's 9-10. I aim for like a 9-minute emu. That's kind of like my goal every time, but it never really happens. They're really frustrating because they can resist you, and if you catch them as they're running behind a pillar, the rope breaks from the lasso ring. Also, if you're too close, it won't latch onto them. As a reference, my best ever emus ended at 9:18, so hopefully this goes better. Like that. See, it kind of just breaks the lasso. Or if you're too... Also, yeah, this level has two things that can damage you. These rock pillars and tornadoes, which we'll kind of see in a second. Okay, decent emus.
Not bad.
The next section is actually an escort mission where we have to make sure Shazza, this other thing, I think it's a Tasmanian Tiger, I don't know the lore of this game, we kind of have to guide her. However, there's a weird little glitch thing where I can run past, I'm not going to run past all of them, but you can run past all of where the motorbike frills spawn, except for the first one, and it despawns them. The reason I think this works is because it bases Shazza's position on you as well, so it doesn't think you'd run that far ahead, making it think you already killed all of them, making it so they don't spawn. So you can do it with all of them, however, it's kind of risky, and if she takes damage from any of them, she gets stunned for a small amount of time, causing you to lose time. So I just only skipped 3 of them, and then I just killed the rest. Also, these guys are exempt from pacifists, just a heads up. There's one thing that I haven't mentioned yet in the run, and those are golden cogs. The reason we don't collect any of them is it has a long animation and it wastes time to collect them. So right now we're about to reach an area where I'm going to collect the one and only golden cog just to show off the music from it, because it won't waste any time here. So hopefully this one doesn't spawn. I need to make sure I kill it if it does. Okay, it's not going to spawn. That is the only golden cog I'll collect, unless it's on accident. So the rest of this level is pretty straightforward. This is the other type of movement I mentioned earlier that is faster because the bull is really fast. And it's the only level we see the bull besides the bullpen fight. And also, I'm going to be charging whenever I go around turns. It kind of allows you to go a little bit faster, but it somewhat slows you down after you exit the charge. So I don't do it that much. So I don't... It can save time, but it can also lose your time if you're not careful, because you lose all control of Ty. He just moves forward, so you want to be careful not to hit any of the pillars. Also, hopefully I can get swag strats up here. What I mean by swag strats is I'm going to try to destroy this second water tower without breaking the fence. I didn't get it. Yeah, that's a little thing. You can break the water tower without breaking the fence itself. Also, I'm a fraud. I'm going to be saying that a lot whenever I do something that is easy and then I miss it. What's great about this game is there are several Thunder Eggs that are just kind of there. Like, it almost seems like Chrome. I'm not sure. I don't want to say bad things about them because they're really cool people. But it's almost like they forgot to They ran out of ideas to where to put Thunder Eggs, and I'll show you what I mean. So for some, they really ran out of ideas for this. So there's just kind of one sitting in the waterfall right here. It's really easy to get, so you know why not? There's several of those in the game, just like small little jumps you have to make to get them. Simple things. The next part is in my opinion, one of the most difficult parts as a new runner to the game, and that's toxic waste. I have to destroy 6 barrels or dent 6 barrels without letting these frills repair them. Now, hopefully, I'm going to get this the fast way. I go from the top left to the top right, and then go down to the bottom row. And this usually makes it so I don't have to kill any frills like that. One thing I should mention, which I probably should have mentioned a lot earlier, is this game is being run right now in Xbox copy on the Xbox 360 because besides the PC re-release, which was re-released earlier this year, it has the fastest load times. The load times are faster by about 2 minutes compared to GameCube, and then PlayStation is behind GameCube by about 30 seconds or so. Also, at the beginning of this level, Snow Worries is one of the most frustrating because I'm jumping a lot to make sure these kangaroos that can throw snowballs at me don't lock onto me. They don't damage you if they hit you with a snowball, but it stuns you. Also, this one, like that, you saw me get stunned there. But that one snow pile with the kid in it is hard because it has a really large hitbox, and it can just kind of go outside of it can hit the hitbox instead of the snow pile. And that's snowball number 2, which is frustrating. Also, please don't hit. Okay, there we go. This section right here, you're supposed to destroy the icicles, but you can just kind of glide over. There's another $1. I completely forgot. I feel like there should be clapping every time I accidentally kill something because it's money for charity. So it's up to the audience, but oh well. Money! Good causes. Also, the person who looks after these kids are terrible because they lost them. I don't know how you lose kids in an avalanche. That just seems really irresponsible. Anyone want to call child support or child services? Also, this next Bilby is really, if you don't know what you're looking for as a new runner to the game, you might miss it because it's just kind of off out there. In several levels, I'll kind of explain another $1. Yeah! Nice job, me. But ice physics are really weird in this game. I'll explain them in a future level where it's kind of a lot better too. Also, for some reason, there's a giant lobster in a really cold lake in the middle of the mountains on an island off the shore of Australia called Tasmania. I really don't know how this is a thing, but you know, video games, am I right? So we're just gonna guide it back to its cave and lock it in with some little things here. If that one's hitbox would move. Okay, and then we're just gonna kind of swim away and grab the Thunder Egg. Okay, don't press the throw the boomerang button here. Okay, we're good. A little interesting thing, whenever going up a steep slope like this, if you jump, you're going to go up faster due to the fact that your height, your speed when jumping upwards is faster than just walking forwards. So just kind of a little optimization to save some time. Now the next section, I'm going to have to kill something, and I'm willing to take the $1 for it because this one spider here is really frustrating. Also, I just got really bad RNG. Yeah! I'm a fraud. Another one that I have to kill because it's targeting me. Yeah, that music puzzle, you have to do red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and that's completely RNG based. There's a 1 in 60 chance that you can get it either red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So that's what you hope for, but, you know, it's RNG. When does it ever go in your favor? Also, floating ice. Not really sure, but okay.
How much of a total impact does RNG have time-wise throughout the run?
Not very much. There's a few specific parts, like the turkeys. Their pathing is RNG based somewhat. You don't really see it since we get them so fast. Emus, their pathing is also RNG based. Several things one more thing in the run is RNG based, but other than that, it's not much. We're about to approach the first real major skip of the run, and it's called Mill Skip. If I miss it and fall down the mountain, it's a total of 30 seconds lost about because I have to death warp back up to the top. And for that reason, it's called the Fall of Shame. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Gonna take the damage, and let's start Mill Skip.
No, on that part right there, he just bit down on that little ledge. And when you bite down on something, it kind of stops all your momentum and keeps you slightly on a little ledge that really isn't there. Well, that you shouldn't be there. Normally that you would slip off of. And that's used a lot throughout the game to help position you better.
I'm going to do the second way because the gate's now raised. All right, that's it.
There we go.
That skip's really hard because it's just a lot of really tight movement you have to do. And I'll be honest, that took me about 50 hours to perfect. So we're approaching the second boss of the game called CRIKEY. CRIKEY'S a shark covered in armor. And it's a really simple boss fight. All I got to do is just make sure that I hit these explosive barrels first try. I'm gonna hit these barrels just before CRIKEY bites on them because I think it's a she. It'll take damage as its mouth is opening on it. If it bites down, it'll waste time because it has to move around, and I have to wait for it to move around towards me to be able to hit it again. Also, the third barrel is really hard to hit without zooming in. It usually takes me 2 tries to hit it, but we'll see. Got it first try, that's good. It only saves like 2 seconds, not even. This one is kind of hard to hit because it's far away, but we got it. Now we just gotta wait for the death animation, and we'll be moving on to the third hub, which is easily the hardest in the game, and I'll kind of explain a little bit more about it. If we could skip it, it would save 20 minutes in the run because the elemental ring we get from it isn't necessary except to open the gate to the final hub. Also, this is the Frosty ring, and it's very useful. So this next part, I'm going to be very quiet to focus on it, and I'll explain it somewhat afterwards. Ping Pong can kind of explain it more, but in the chat, there's a Franker Face Z emote in my channel called Lenny Plus. If everyone could just put that once, exactly once, that would really help me, because Lenny is going to be very frustrating otherwise. Also, I'll show you who Lenny is. That is Lenny, and Lenny Plus is just Lenny with the Scumbag Steve hat on top of it.
Now what's going to be happening up here is there's the Lenny skip. This level has a lot of backtracking, so basically we manipulate this level to skip to the very end and cut out all the backtracking. So he uses that bite that was shown on the mill skip to kind of stall his position, and he's going to jump right there in between those 2 barrels and skip all the way down here from out of bounds to basically this is the completely end of the level.
That
So-
skips 99% of the level and takes out all the backtracking, and it's one of the most frustrating and unforgiving skips. if I enter the left log, I either have to do the level normally or exit and enter the level again, because Lenny will not go back to the start. If I accidentally fall into the void, I have to start the level over again because I can't recover from that. However, if I enter the right log, it's not as bad because I just have to try to skip over. Also, this is your factory-made biological twin Sly, and we're just going to kind of stun lock him if I can actually hit him. Normally you'd hit him right then, but we're just going to kind of stun lock him with the Frosty Ring and the Flamerang. This would be a good time for 2 donations.
All right. Hillary Puff donates $5. Yo, Kythol, it's Bob. Great to see you representing PlayStation Nation at GDQ. I wish I could be there, but I'm too busy being the GOAT. Remember to sub that you-know-what.
Oh, yeah, I know I will, even though I won't. But thanks, Bob.
$5 Anonymous. Shout out to my friend Cody for introducing me to Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Good luck with the Pacifist run.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a stutter glide in a sense. Every time I hit the glide, the A button or the glide, I'm going to move a little bit more forward, since when you're not gliding, you have very slightly faster forward momentum. And by doing that, I'm also keeping the ability to do the extended glide, which allows me to move upwards a little bit more. And it's barely noticeable, but I'm able to do it a lot faster than I should. So now, did I get all of them? Yes, I did. Just going to kind of hit all the levers, and even though we don't know what they do, it fills this area with water again. So good job, me. This next part is another bite thing. Just kind of wedge myself up there and enter this log. I found something today that I didn't even know was a thing that for new runners would be helpful, but I don't really want to show it off. Which way? The wrong way. Cameras. This game has a really bad camera. It's terrible, but I'm going to make sure the camera is zoomed all the way in, even though I normally like it all the way out. Because if I don't zoom it all the way in, after I enter this mushroom portal, it's going to put the camera stuck in a wall, and you'd have to zoom in with the just the first person mode button thing, and it's frustrating. So I just put the camera all the way in. This is the main part that you'd backtrack for. There's a button that activates this platform thing, and you would normally hit it and then go back to where it is, but I'm just gonna hit it and... Okay, this is gonna be frustrating. Please don't hit me. Okay. This is also the only level where I'm going to exit it and re-enter it on purpose, and I'll explain why when that comes up. But basically, we're just going to kind of hopefully make the cycle. I didn't make the cycle. You can kind of make it as it's going down, like that, and then it's a lot faster, but you got to be real quick about it. The fact that I had to dodge those spiders made it so I wasn't able to make it. So now we're about to grab the 5th Bilby, and after that I'm going to exit the level and re-enter it. As I said earlier, the story mission unlocks the race, which is usually found at the very start of the level. By doing the story mission and then exiting and then re-entering the level, the story mission was defeating Sly. By exiting and re-entering, I'm going to be able to do the race a lot quicker than if I backtrack even more. So... This is the other water slide we do. Now would be a good time for a donation.
Alrighty. We have $10 from Blake186. Thanks for everything you're doing and making my nights playing WoW after work so much better. Shoutouts to Delos, the best Luigi in Ontario, and remember to save the animals.
All right, we're about to approach, in my opinion, the most visually impressive skip of the game. It's the only one that abuses any mobs that can damage you, so it's really interesting. The way these mobs work, they're on top of their head. They have like a slope that makes it so you can't stand on top of them. However, if you have 2 stationed right next to each other, you can stand in between them. So that's what we're about to do right here. So normally you'd go to a different side of the level and use a mushroom flower, which kind of like shoots you out to get to it. But instead, I'm going to stand in between these guys and do an extended glide. If I can, okay, there we go. And then grab onto that ledge.
Oh, jeez.
Now, I have to make sure I do not die early here because I'm going to be doing a death warp. So I have to be very careful to keep at least 2 health up until the end of this area. And this is the only level that's really interesting in this way. It's separated into 2 areas, 2 main areas. Most of the levels are very linear, but this level has 2 very big areas. It has an upper area and this lower area. So first we're going through the lower area to get all 8 kids, which this woman has lost yet again. Please, someone do something about her. But we're just kind of going and grabbing all 8 kids and turning that in because, hey, Thunder Eggs. Now, I have taken... Nice, I forgot to turn around. That's something that can happen if you aren't careful. But it's okay, it only wastes like 7 seconds. Unless I do it again. Now we're just going to kind of glide over here. I haven't taken any damage, so I'm going to go ahead and take the first one, which is very rare for that to happen. And then I'll take the second damage right there. That was a little earlier, but it's okay. And then we're going to grab this kid, and now we should be okay. Okay, yeah. I've set myself up for the death warp. So after I grab the 8th kid, I'm going to death warp. If you haven't noticed the outhouses, you probably should have, but those are checkpoints where you'll respawn. So because of that, there aren't any in this lower area. So because of that, we're going to... Once I die, it'll set me back the very top. If I could... Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Okay, that was very scary. But now we've set up the death warp, and we're going to death warp to the start, and we've got that. If I were to die there before grabbing the 8th kid, that would waste a good 30 seconds. Also, we're about to explain ice physics, but one thing I'd like to point out, this is a wombat riding a snowboard. Okay. Also, this is the only friendly NPC in the game that cannot be hit by a boomerang. It doesn't the boomerangs pass right through him. Most of the friendly NPCs will have some kind of animation where they'll yell at you for hitting them with a boomerang. But this one's just kind of like, nah. So ice physics in this game are weird. The ice physics aren't loaded until you first touch ice in a level. So what you're going to see is you're going to see all my forward momentum stop. And that's because the ice physics are loaded. It has to load them. And now whenever I touch any other ice in this level, it's not going to do that. You saw it, you didn't really notice it in Snow Worries because he kind of moves forward still. It's a lot more noticeable in this level. But also for some reason, the wombat on a snowboard is somehow keeping its forward momentum on a completely flat surface. Again, video games. Also, we do 3 races in total this run. This is the only one that I'm not going to exit as soon as I finish the race because we have to go up to the upper area. So now we're going to go to the upper area, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to do something real simple called log jumping. It just speeds it up a little bit. I'm going to jump onto this log here and then turn, and then if I can position myself, I'm going to ledge grab on this log, skipping like 5 seconds of climbing. Also, I'm going to jump at the very end of this log. If I don't jump, the camera turns around, and if I forget to not move forward at that point, I would fall off the side of the mountain and I'd have to reclimb it. So it's real frustrating. Also, this is another good example of Thunder Eggs that just kind of lie around. I'm just going to kind of jump in between these pillars and, hey, what do you know, Thunder Egg. Also, something real interesting, if you haven't noticed, the colors of the Thunder Eggs and the Opals change depending on what you're going to be getting. In the first area, you saw red Thunder Eggs and Opals because you're getting the Flamerang. In the second area, you saw blue ones because of the Frosty Ring. And this one, because it's going to be lightning, it's green for the Zappy Ring. Now, not only did she lose the kids once, one of them somehow escaped up here, which you kind of saw to the left, which I'm going to move as far to the right of it as possible so he doesn't start running. I need to make sure he doesn't run until I want him to. And that should have been the last one, except there's a new little strat that I'll explain. So I'm gonna freeze these. I'm gonna move close enough to him that he goes. Okay, he went the other way. That's fine. There's a faster way. If he went the way I was wanting him to go, I would have gotten him a lot quicker. But it's fine. I can just kind of wait here. And we used to exit the level here, but there's a slightly faster way. There's a bilby at the very bottom of this mountain that you'd get before going up. I should have glided. But because you kind of spawn there, you can just go there and go back out. Now, the next level, in my opinion, is the most frustrating to learn as a newcomer to the game, and that is Rex Marks the Spot. It has two of the hardest skips and one of the most frustrating portions of RNG pathing that is in the game. The next part would be good for a donation since it's just swimming.
We have $50 from A. Rich. This is my first time donating to GDQ, and it won't be my last. Thank you to everyone contributing to this wonderful cause, so stay great and save the animals.
This is the first skip of the level, and it's one of the most technically condensed ones. Not condensed. It's one of the most. It uses a lot of mechanics in the game. So I'm extended gliding after jumping on a ice platform that I made and then burned using the flamerang, and it still has its hitbox. So I'm running up it, and then I do the extended glide, and you know Ty locks onto something once he turns his head. After doing the extended glide, his head turns, and that signals me to bite, which will bite him up towards that the bilby there. And it looks really intimidating as a newcomer, but once you learn more about it, it's not that bad. Also, this is a pretty bad frill boats. This is the portion of RNG I was talking about. So, please, I got it. Okay, that was very tricky. So, that wasn't as bad as it could have been. If I hadn't made that jumping throw, that would have been a lot slower. But where they go and where they stop is RNG based. They have paths that they can take, but the RNG jumbles them together, so it's really different every time. So it's kind of frustrating. Also, the story objective in this is to find treasure chests, and I don't really know what else to say about it. We're about to get to the second skip of the level, which after running for a while, you kind of have to find your own setup for it. I know Ping Pong has an issue with it somewhat because it's really hard to tell other people how to do it because you really got to set it up yourself. There's a volcano, which you can kind of see off in the distance. We're coming up to it now. And normally to get this Thunder Egg, you'd have to go through the volcano and everything. But there's a very small area that I can ledge grab on. I'm going to stand on this little piece of grass and glide at it and jump at it, and that saves about 3 minutes, and that's really difficult. I'm very happy I got that first try. I was kind of worried about it. The next part is also good for like 3 or 4 donations because it's just a lot of swimming and jumping.
All right. I've got $50 from The Foolish Mortals. Taking a break from editing YouTube videos to watch GDQ is definitely one of life's finer pleasures. Shout out to all the people behind the scenes keeping the party train sailing, and to all my fellow chumps in Twitch chat, Kappa123.
Kappa123.
We have $30 from Max74. Thanks to staff for putting together such a great marathon. It's nice to have such a wonderful community getting this much attention. Donation to Reader's Choice.
Whoops.
We have $10 from Anonymous. Longtime watcher here, showing my girlfriend speedruns for the first time, and she's becoming obsessed. Love the run so far. I appreciate all the runners participating in such a great cause.
You can basically read donations to the end of the level. It's a lot of running and swimming.
We have $50 from Mud Joe 2. It just says, I love Doom. $5 from A6 Gin. Greatly enjoying my first live SGDQ. Keep up the awesome sauce, guys. Also, I wanted to save those animals, but now I want their heads. Kill the animals.
Good for you.
$20 from Digidomo. Thanks for putting this on year after year. To the guys behind the scenes and the Power Up crew, I'm Luvinsit. $30 from Enkidu. Good morning again. Out of donations to read? This cannot be. Take my money and kill the animals.
So, out of curiosity, are there any soft locks or crashes that can happen during the run?
Yes and no. There's one that's only happened to me once ever, and that's as I was loading into Bullpen. For some reason, the game just hard locked. I have no idea why. It just did. It just was stuck on the loading screen, and I just kind of sat there for 5 minutes waiting for it to do anything, and it never did. So,
Wow.
also there's a very interesting glitch. It's not really hard lock or soft lock or anything, but unless you switch the boomerangs, it prevents you from being able to glide or throw boomerangs. It's called the invisible boomerang glitch. And if you exit out of a game holding any of the 3 elemental rings, and you jump and you climb out of the pool where you get the swimming ability, it shipwrecks at a very specific point. For some reason, it keeps the particle effects in an invisible boomerang, and it really doesn't do anything. So we're approaching the final really hub boss, and this one, I'm going to be very honest, it took me 5 years to figure out how to do this because of the second phase, which is really frustrating. The first phase is simple except for hitting the chest, which I'm going to hope to hit without zooming in. If that happens, it's going to be a good Fluffy. If not, then rip. Okay, good, it happened. That's very lucky. Also, fun fact, Fluffy is not the robot. Since you don't see the cutscene, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Fluffy is the lizard running the robot, and Fluffy is a she, not a he. You'll learn more about her in the second game. So here's the phase where I had no idea what to do. You're supposed to use the Flamerang and throw it through these vent things that shoot fire up, and that damages the robot. Except there's a Techno Rang, which is what you get after collecting a bunch of golden cogs, called the Kaboomerang, which is literally an exploding boomerang. And for some reason, that doesn't damage the robot, but just throwing a Flamerang in fire does. I had to look up a guide on how to do that. But this is a simple fight if you don't die, and you're good. So yeah, that's the most frustrating boss of the game. Actually, the second most frustrating. The most frustrating is Shadow. So we're going to be heading to the final hub, and this is the part where, this is why if we could skip that entire hub, it would be very good because it would save 20 minutes. The only thing we need a Zappy-Rang for is to hit this thing to open the gate. Otherwise, we don't need it. Also, you saw me jump over something. You may have noticed it earlier. You saw me jump over something called a rainbow scale. If I were to collect any of them, it would enter a conversation that wastes about 1/4 of a second. And we're about to approach, in my opinion, the hardest skip of the game, or most frustrating, because of the fact that it's so close to the end of the run. If you don't get it first or second try, you might lose the run, which I've lost plenty to. And it's a very small window. For some reason, you can stand on this tree and jump to the end of the level. So, that was almost it. I did the glide a little bit too far. Okay, third try. That's basically going to mean I'm going to be stuck here for like a minute, but it's fine. Okay, we got it. That's very good. Wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be, but it's okay. Also, you see all these spy eggs and floating platforms. you can just ignore them, and the mines underwater are extremely slow, so I can just kind of swim past all of them and go to the end of the level. Also, it's kind of intended because you saw one up there, the floating head in the water. Also, I'm going to skip a conversation. Marie, the bird that follows you around and gives you advice, will talk to you if you go too close to him, so you just got to go to the portal. And this is the most frustrating boss fight of the game. This is Shadow. She is a bat, and she is very... I really don't know how to put it. Just really annoying. So I have to basically make a blind first-person boomerang throw, and I also have to freeze all 3 of these guys. I got it. That was... okay. That's very good. Now, the second part is also frustrating because her invincibility frames can activate a little bit sooner than they're supposed to. And if that happens, she'll run into the steam vent, which is the only thing that can damage her, but she won't take the damage, and she'll run after you until she damages you. So let's hope that doesn't happen here. And it can also happen in the third phase, but that's really bad if it does, because instead of damaging you once, she'll go after you until you're dead. So now we're just gonna go up here. She did the screech. That's the second sound cue. And, okay, she did not have invincibility frames. That's very good. It's okay if I take damage. I just need to make sure I don't die, because that'll waste some time. She takes a while to get up to this point as well, so... just going to kind of wait, and I'm going to wait for her to kind of move that way into that little alcove, and then when I do, I'm going to hit the final button. Okay, that should be good. And now we're going to go to the end of the level, because there's one cutscene, and this is the cutscene as you cross the bridge. Got to be careful. And if she dies while I'm at the door, I'll be able to exit the level as she dies. And we're now on to the final battle, which is properly named the final battle. Really don't know why it's not named anything different, but something cooler like the Fiery Battle O' Death, or I don't know. Or Battle McBattleface, you know. The first phase is simple, just gotta destroy these flamethrowers and go inside the robots. Now, this is the part where I'm going to probably accidentally kill a lot of different things because auto-targeting. I have to destroy these 8 little wire things, and they take 2 hits each. So, that's 1 dead. I'm going to keep count. Thanks, auto-targeting. Okay, only 1. So we're about to enter the final phase of this game, and it's just a little 1.5 minute auto-scroller. And I just like to give thanks to a lot of different people. For one, I'd like to thank the entirety of the Ty the Tasmanian Tiger community. You got Maelstrom, Nappa, Rob the Gamer. All of them are really fantastic people. They're very supportive. I'd also like to thank CRIKEY'S and Dark Papa 1. Dark Papa 1's the former world record holder for this game. He really had a fantastic time, and I'm sad to see he didn't run this game last year. He dropped it, but it's okay. You're with us in spirit here. And then CRIKEY'S found 95% of the skips in this game. I'd also like to give a big shout out to the people in a specific Twitch chat for this shirt I'm wearing. A good friend of mine named Mike, otherwise known as Mad Cow. He has such a supportive viewer base that have really supported me as well throughout going for these runs and getting into SGDQ, so it was really awesome to have them supporting me. And then finally, I'd also like to thank the Serious Gmod or Serious Gary's mod community. I've been with them today, or yesterday technically, was their 3-year anniversary of being a server. They've really helped me through a lot of tough times. They've been really supportive, and I really don't know where I'd be without them. So one of the donators earlier mentioned them, but I'd really like to thank all those people. They've really been a big help. So the time is going to be as the boomerang's loading screen opens up, and that's time. That's very good considering the fact that I had to go back and 2-up. I'm very happy with that. I was hoping for a 102, so a 101.58. Very good time. If I have like 3 minutes, I'd like to show a really dumb out of bounds if that's okay. So, for one, the credits, just going to zoom past them. Also, a few things I'd like to mention in the credits. They thank the kids who are the testers. They thank Pizza Guy. They also have a team specifically dedicated to animal logic, which I really don't know why. Also, very funny thing at the very end, all logos are no animals were harmed during the making of this game. There's one little really confusing out of bounds in Shipwrecks. It's weird. It has water, but you can't dive under it. You can only swim at a normal speed above the water. And it's really weird how you can get out of bounds there. You just kind of walk through a wall, and it's the only out of bounds that's like that. All the other out of bounds take a lot more work, but this one's just really strange for that matter. So we're just going to kind of ignore that and go swimming along.
We have a $10 anonymous donation. Having fun watching you pro gaming over here, Kythol. Great moves. Keep it up.
So we're just going to kind of head back to where the boat skip was, and there's a weird-looking wall. You might be able to notice it. It doesn't look weird. It just is formed real weird. So gonna head over to this island, and it's right here, and I can just, if I can do it, walk right through the wall. And this goes on infinitely, basically. There's no use to this, and I can't even dive. I'm pressing the dive button. So I'm just kind of, I can go back inbounds as well. It's just kind of there. If I can, there we go. So that's Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
All right, Kythol, thanks for that run. I'm going to read a few donations while we're getting set up for the next run here.